Solomon Islands, a sovereign state located in Oceania to the east of Papua New Guinea. The state includes 6 major islands and over 900 smaller islands. The capital, Honiara, is located on the island of Guadalcanal, which became a famous battleground between U.S. and Japanese soldiers in what is now known as the Solomon Island Campaign of 1942 to 1945. Nestled in the midst of vast oceans, these remote islands have long held a mysterious allure for many. Tales of a tribe of giants, said to be the offspring of Nephilim, still roaming in these islands continue to spark curiosity and fascination among those who seek to unravel the enigma that surrounds these lands. The remote islands were left undiscovered to the rest of the world, inhabited only by indigenous people who had lived on the islands for thousands of years. In 1568, a Spanish explorer by the name Álvaro de Medina became the first European to discover the islands, navigating the oceans from Peru. After discovering the islands, Álvaro named them the Islands of Solomon, with the belief that he had found gold, and not just any gold, but the place where the biblical King Solomon obtained the gold for his temple in Jerusalem. Rumors of such an important find reached explorers in other lands, and in 1595 and 1606, more Spanish expeditions set out to uncover the truth. The discoveries of gold reported by Medina were never verified back then, but in more recent times, companies have managed to mine a large amount of gold from the islands. There's thought to be a substantial amount of gold still buried throughout the land. The mining process for gold on the islands has been controversial, with allegations of exploitation and environmental damage. Some locals accuse mining companies of exploiting their land and resources for their own gain, while others point out the irreparable damage caused by mining activities. However, the allure of the islands is not just about its golds. The native people who have inhabited the Solomon Islands for thousands of years have passed down traditions and oral stories of giants living in the land, much like many other cultures from around the world. And these people living on the islands still believe that these giants exist today. The stories of the giants have many variations and interpretations, with some believing them to be benevolent creatures, and others considering them dangerous and malicious. Some legends even describe giant creatures that hunt people, lurking in the shadows and waiting to attack them. Marius Boyrayon is a researcher and the research director of the Solomon Anthropological Expedition Trust Board, Incorporated. He is one of the people involved in the investigation process regarding the true giants on the islands. Boyrayon is based in Australia, but lived and worked in the Solomon Islands as a helicopter pilot and engineer. He even married a Solomon native woman and became a citizen there. During his stay, he became familiar with the island's culture and traditions, including the stories about the giants. In 2010, Boyrayon published the book Solomon Island Mysteries, which contained stories from the local people, including his wife. In his research, he discovered that giants were living on the islands, and some were over 10 feet tall. He referred to these giants as Guadalcanal giants. They have long, black, brown, or red hair, double eyebrows, red eyeballs, flat noses, and wide mouths. Marius writes that some of the giants were killing and stealing humans from their villages. He speaks of a huge, rogue, killer giant that attacked the indigenous people. Many warriors died trying to slay the giant before villages had to be moved to other parts of the islands to protect their people. The Solomon Island giants are said to have social structures, and there are possibly thousands of them that inhabit Guadalcanal to this day. They use complex cave systems to pass from one side of the island to the other without ever having to see daylight. Among the islanders, one of the most eerie stories related to the giants is the story of Mango. Many years ago, a girl named Mango was taken by the giants. After 25 years, being believed dead and never to be seen again, Mango reappears in an unrecognizable and shocking state. Mango is found to be pregnant and believed to have been taken as a wife by one of the giants for over 2 decades. She gave birth to a half-breed boy who was killed by one of Mango's brothers at the age of 5. Mango herself remained in a severely unstable mental state until her death. According to the story, some of the men on the island are aware of the location where her son is buried. But the stories about these giants were not limited to locals. There are also reports that Japanese forces encountered these giants during the Solomon Islands campaign between 1942 and 1945. Japanese and U.S. forces engaged in heavy fighting on the islands, and Japanese soldiers reported seeing creatures around 10 to 15 feet tall, which would sometimes come charging at units of soldiers. The bullets had little effect on them, and soldiers had a hard time sleeping as they could hear their fellow comrades wailing through the night as the giants launched more attacks. The cannibalistic nature of the giants struck fear in the hearts of the Japanese infantry. Although there are skeptics who dismiss these accounts as myth and folklore, the sheer number of testimonies and eyewitness accounts from various sources gives reason to believe that there may be some truth to the legends of the giants of the Solomon Islands. However, concrete information about these mysterious creatures remains scarce, and the legends surrounding them are shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. The idea of giants has been present in many cultures throughout history, from the biblical account of the Nephilim to depictions in ancient architecture and cave writings. The legends about these creatures may be a remnant of the time when fallen angels coexisted with humans, which led to the birth of the Nephilim and the subsequent appearance of giants in various parts of the world. The sheer amount of legends and stories about such beings across cultures suggests that there may be some truth to the idea of fallen angels and their influence on the world. The legend of Solomon Islands giants is only one piece of this larger puzzle. The relationship between giants and pyramids in different cultures is also an interesting topic. Many ancient societies around the world, such as those in Egypt, Iran, Iraq, China, Mexico, and Cambodia, built pyramids, suggesting that something was happening on Earth in those days. Even more intriguing, these cultures all have stories and depictions of giants. It is possible that these societies had contact with each other and that the giants played an important role in the construction of these pyramids. Let us take, for example, the pyramids in Mexico. Missionaries in New Spain and New Hispanic historians chronicle stories saying that in ancient times there were giants in the land now known as Mexico. They called them Kinametsin, a term used in Mesoamerican mythology for people of great height. The friars were looking for explanations for the large buildings dedicated to the indigenous gods. According to the Journal of Mexican Archaeology, the evangelists attributed the construction of the largest pyramids, such as that of Cholula, to the giants. The Bible gave the missionaries the idea that the creators of these great buildings could be beings like those described in biblical passages. The Goliath against which David fights, or other stories where the triumph of a person is enhanced by overcoming individuals superior in size and strength. A story by Friar Andrés de Olmos, famous for his work as a philologist of the indigenous groups, tells that in the palace of the first viceroy of New Spain, Antonio de Mendoza, bones of a human foot were found where each toe measured almost the palm of a hand. Like the Bible story of Noah and the flood, the giants perished in the catastrophe of Atanasha, a great flood in the mountainous area of Tlaxcala. Another ancient megalithic structures that are believed to be built by the giants are the unbelievable structures made from enormous basalt stones in Nan Madol in the island of Pohnpei. The walls are standing as high as 58 feet tall and measuring as much as 17 feet thick. Columns and buildings all made from stone which weigh anywhere from 5 to 50 tons, stacked in the manner which one might construct a log cabin. Astonishingly, it has been estimated that over 750,000 tons of stone were used in the site's construction. The labor and effort needed to build these structures are so massive that it couldn't be done by ordinary humans. It was widely believed that this could have only been built by giants. This was supported by the discovery of Victor Berg, the appointed governor during German rule in the island. When he ventured into Nan Madol in 1907, he stumbled upon a sealed tomb that was believed to contain the remains of Pohnpei's ancient rulers. To his surprise, he found skeletal remains that were significantly larger than any he had seen before, indicating the presence of a race of giants standing at 10 feet tall. This discovery led Berg to wonder about the identity of these giant rulers. However, a violent storm that hit the island on the night of his discovery, accompanied by the sound of conch shells and glowing orbs in the sky, left Berg dead the next day, leading the locals to believe that Nan Madol was guarded by supernatural forces. After World War I, Japan took control of Pohnpei, and they also began to investigate Nan Madol. According to remaining sources, Japanese scientists discovered that the ruins of Nan Madol, built on top of coral reefs, were just a small part of the puzzle, and that Nan Madol extended deeper into the ocean, forming an entire sunken city. It was here that the Japanese purportedly discovered massive platinum coffins on the ocean floor, which contained the remains of giant humans standing 10 feet tall when broken open. Due to the loss of many Japanese records from the area during World War II, the details of Japan's rule over Pohnpei are fragmented. The concept of the return of the Nephilim and their offspring during the last days is an intriguing theme that appears in several Bible prophecies. One of these prophecies is found in Revelation chapter 9, which describes an army of 200 million strange creatures that will bring a plague to the earth, resulting in the death of a third of humanity. The nature and qualities of these beings are unknown, but some theories suggest that they may be some type of descendants of the Nephilim, resurrected to fight in the war of the last days. Another Bible prophecy that supports this theory is found in Luke chapter 21, verse 26, which speaks of people fainting with fear and anxiety due to what will happen on earth in the last days. The powers of heaven will be shaken, and men will faint in fear at the sight of what will come upon the earth. Something so terrifying could be the Nephilim and their offspring being resurrected, brought back to life by some type of wicked supernatural event that would occur to usher in the last days of the earth. While these prophecies are open to various interpretations, they are worth considering in the context of the legends and stories associated with giants throughout the world, including those in the Solomon Islands. It is possible that giants still exist today, concealed in the caves of the earth. Only time will tell whether the return of the Nephilim and their offspring is inevitable or simply the stuff of legend and myth. Do you believe that there are giants living in our midst? Let us know your thoughts and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until the next one.